Hello, this is Mr. Huff. Let's talk about eccentricity. So here, there's a ellipse generator on GeoGebra, and this is an example of something with an eccentricity of 0, and this is somewhere between 0 and 1. So if it has an eccentricity of 0, that means it's a circle. And as it approaches 1, it gets to be a wider and wider and wider ellipse. So all your numbers for your solutions are going to be between 0 and 1. Two things you need to recognize when you look at the parts of an ellipse: you have two focal points, you have a major axis and a minor axis, and then you have half of that, the semi-major axis, which is the longer of the two, and the semi-minor axis, which is the shorter of the two. So, and that's from the center of the ellipse. So you're going to need to know these two values here. Okay. Well, let's look at an example problem. Actually, let's look at the formula first. So eccentricity is the square root of 1 minus the semi-major axis squared divided by the semi-minor axis squared. And notice that eccentricity is a ratio. Well, it's more or less a ratio. So it has no units. And the axes measurements can be any unit, but they have to be the same, any length unit. But they must be the same. So let's say that we have a semi-major axis of 10 inches and a semi-minor axis of 8 inches. What is the eccentricity? So we're going to use this formula. We're going to plug into the calculator square root, open a parenthesis, 1 minus, open a new parenthesis, 8 squared divided by 10 squared, close the parenthesis, and if you run that through your calculator, you get 0.6 because this math is very nice. So you would record 0.6, and I'm showing you, keep in mind on my calculations, use about 4 important numbers, especially when you're entering things on Canvas. So in this case, you could have just put 0.6, but if it has additional decimals, go to 4 decimal places. And that is how to calculate eccentricity.